Good morning, stamping friends. My name is Lorri Heiling, and thank you so much for joining me this morning. I'm really excited to share with you a project that's going to be super fast and easy. It's one of those that you could do assembly line style and just make a ton of them, and it won't take you very long. Plus, the sentiment and paper could be used for so many different occasions. Those are always fun and kind of like a go-to for me when I need a lot of cards cranked out in a short amount of time. So this would be that type of card. So I'm going to show you how you can mix some of our older product. This isn't too old. I think it's 2 years ago. And it's called Butterfly Gala. And the reason I love this stamp set is not only for the butterflies that have a coordinating punch with it, but also for the sentiments because I love the font. And so that's why I chose this one, because of the font. And I am going to team this up with a Halloween paper that we have. It's called Magic in This Night. And the reason I particularly like this paper this year is because many of the prints can be used for Halloween because there's bats and, oh, my paper is kind of coming apart, but there's bats and spider webs and spiders. I am down to barely anything left here. But on the flip side are these beautiful florals. So that's what's nice about this paper is that you can definitely use it for Halloween, but they have nice prints on the other side that could really be used for any season or occasion. So the card that we're gonna use today is the floral one. So let's start by cutting our card base, which today will be 4 1/4 by 11, and I scored it in half on the long side at 5 1/2. And then just fold on the score line. Then the next layer is going to be another basic black, and this one is going to be, I better double check, I cut this out a while ago, 4 inches by 5 1/4, so it's just 1/4 inch smaller than the card front. All right, and then the next piece is going to be our designer series paper, the black floral. There's 2 different ones. This one's a little bit smaller print, and the other floral has larger flowers, but the same colors. And this one is 3 7/8. Let me double check. 3 7/8 by 2 1/2. So those are our 3 pieces of paper we need, and then we need one more, just a little strip of silver foil paper, and this is 3 7/8 by 1/2 inch. So that's really all you need. And then we're gonna adhere this foil strip to the top of our paper. Let's see, I don't think there's an up and a down with the flower. They're just random. And so just put a little glue on that, and then just have a tiny bit peeking out at the top. All right. Now, excuse me. Now this layer we are going to adhere to that single piece of black cardstock. So just put some snail on the back and then just center it down towards the bottom and left to right. So that's going to be kind of our card front. Now the next thing is you're going to take the Versamark ink and your stamp, and the stamp I chose to use is a little note. And look at this Versamarker that is very well worn, but I never replace it because it still works. It's just in some of my classes people mix up the colors with, you know, this ink pad, so that's why there's so many colors on it. And when we stamp this, we're going to go really close to the edge that we just adhered all that down to. Now we want to take white embossing powder, and by the way, Versamark is clear in color, so you're not going to see it. I'm going to hope I stamped it straight, and then just sprinkle your white embossing powder and flick it well on the back. It's a little bit off, but I always say normally I have my head right over it, but when I put my head in the camera, then you can't see what I'm doing. And then we are going to take our heat tool and emboss that. Not sure if you can hear me above this. I probably should have done it beforehand, but I just wanted you to see how I emboss. It gets shiny when it's done, and that's how you know when it's done. So it doesn't take very long. Now, there's one other part we want to do. This metallic mesh ribbon is really, really pretty. They kind of put it in with the Halloween suite, but it by no means has to be Halloweeny, although it does kind of look like a spider web. But this ribbon is so easy to tie, and it stays tight as you're tying it. You know what I mean? It doesn't get loose. So just tie it in a knot. It doesn't really matter where the knot falls because we can adjust it when we're done. And then I'm going to take my scissors, and I want them not too long because it's kind of a wide ribbon and I don't want it too bulky in here. And I just hold them up and cut them evenly like that. All right, now I can adjust that knot. And to adjust it, what you do is kind of bend the card so it gives, and then just slide it where you want the knot to be. Now, I don't want to cover up the silver strip up here, so I'm going to put it just a little bit below that, like right up to it. And you see how it's going to want to keep popping up? It kept doing that when I was making this. So I held it down like this where I want it to go, and then you're going to take your dimensionals and you're going to put one right on there so it doesn't keep popping up over. You know what I mean? So now we know it won't go up into that because I stuck it down with a dimensional. All right, so let's put them on the corners as well. They're sticking everywhere. I'm using the larger ones this time, mainly because I wanted to tack that ribbon down. So we'll go like that, and then remove the adhesive backs. I actually use both the large and small ones, probably about the same amount. So which one do you prefer? You know what? I should have my black dimensionals. We sell black dimensionals, and oh, do you think I would have thought to put them on a black card? Probably. That would have been a good idea. All right, now we will just put it on the front of our card like this, and some of you might think it looks a little plain, but I was going for simplicity, and I'm already done with it. So that's what it turned out like, and it's very simple, a monochromatic, and then you definitely have to put the white piece under here, but I was just going to use it as a note card, so I wasn't going to put a sentiment inside. But that's it. It's just very simple, but it uses new product here, plus Blast from the Past and Butterfly Gala. So I hope you enjoyed this fast little card, and if you find any products you'd like to order, please use my host code right here. And I want to thank you so much for joining me today, and I will see you next week on Tuesday morning for another Facebook Live. Have a great weekend coming up. Bye, guys.